cornered. Alright, under arrest.
Go find them. Go find my guns.
Just multiple guns?
I got a stick, the AR.
The story of King Harris has taken a turn nobody could have predicted. Once known as the outspoken, bold, and sometimes rebellious son of rapper T.I. and Tiny Harris, King Harris is now at the center of shocking rumors and troubling reports. After undergoing brain surgery, whispers have begun to spread that the young star has not been the same. Fans, critics, and even those close to the family are questioning whether the surgery has left him mentally unstable, some even going as far as calling him a lunatic. Whether that word is exaggerated or not, the fact remains. King's behavior after the procedure has raised serious concerns. Before the surgery, King was already known for his fiery personality. He had gone viral multiple times for his arguments, his boldness, and his refusal to back down from anyone, even his own parents, his public spats with his father T.I. on Instagram Live, and his insistence on being his own man made him a controversial but fascinating figure. People expected King to grow into the spotlight, to eventually carve his own path in music or entertainment, following in the footsteps of his famous family. But the surgery changed everything. According to sources close to the Harris family, King had to undergo a serious brain operation due to complications that have not been fully disclosed to the public. The family initially stayed quiet, only asking fans to keep King in their prayers. For a while, it seemed like he was recovering, but soon after, disturbing stories started surfacing. Fans who claimed to have spotted him said his behavior was erratic, wild mood swings, unpredictable outbursts, and strange statements that didn't sound like the King Harris they thought they knew. Videos began circulating online, showing him acting in ways that seemed disconnected from reality. The internet, of course, wasted no time. Memes, TikToks, and tweets exploded, with people debating whether King's mind had been permanently affected by the surgery. Some said he was showing signs of post-surgery trauma or mental health struggles, while others used harsher language, labeling him crazy or lunatic. And though the term may be insensitive, it has stuck like glue in online conversations about King Harris. But is this really about King losing his mind, or is it about how society reacts when someone's behavior no longer fits the mold we expect? That's the bigger question at play. Mental health issues, especially following something as serious as brain surgery, are complicated and delicate. Still, the Harris family's high profile makes it impossible for King's struggles to remain private. Every move he makes is under a microscope, dissected by strangers, bloggers, and gossip pages. T.I., on the other hand, is said to be furious about how people are labeling his son. Behind closed doors, insiders claim he has expressed anger at both the hospital staff and the public's reaction. In his eyes, negligence may have played a role in King's condition, and the aftermath is only being made worse by cruel commentary online. Tiny, meanwhile, has reportedly been more focused on keeping King shielded, leaning into faith and prayer, asking fans not to spread negativity. Yet, as much as they try, the rumors keep growing louder. The Harris brand itself has been affected. Instead of being talked about for their music, their businesses, or their reality TV ventures, the family is now trending for what some are calling a public meltdown. King's supposed instability has become clickbait, and YouTube creators, bloggers, and gossip outlets are milking the story for all it's worth. In this way, King Harris has gone from being a young man trying to make his mark to being a symbol of what happens when fame collides with vulnerability. Still, behind all the chatter, there's a young man at the heart of this. Surgery, especially brain surgery, can have lasting effects on mood, memory, and personality. If King is truly struggling with the aftermath, he deserves compassion more than ridicule. But the internet rarely shows mercy. Instead, it amplifies the most shocking parts of his story, turning whispers into headlines like King Harris turned lunatic after brain surgery. King Harris, once just a celebrity kid making noise online, is now at the center of a storm about mental health, negligence, and public scrutiny. The surgery may have saved his life, but it also changed the trajectory of his reputation. Whether the label lunatic is fair or cruel, it's clear that King Harris will never be seen the same way again. The shocking transformation of King Harris after his brain surgery has not only disturbed fans, but has also sparked heated debates across social media platforms. What's really happening to him? Is he truly losing control of his mind, or is this just another exaggerated narrative fueled by internet gossip? Section 2 dives deeper into the reactions, the family dynamics, and the growing controversy around this so-called lunatic label. Almost immediately after the first videos of King's strange behavior began circulating online, hashtags like #PrayForKing and #KingHarris started trending. On one side, supporters rushed to defend him, insisting that people were being too quick to judge. They pointed out that brain surgery is not like any other medical procedure. It deals directly with the mind, emotions, and personality. The possibility of long-term side effects is very real, and fans sympathetic to King argued that mocking him was not only heartless but dangerous. On the other side, critics were relentless. They began flooding comment sections, accusing King of acting out, of faking it for attention, or of being permanently damaged. The harshest critics started labeling him with cruel terms like lunatic, crazy, or gone mad. In the fast-paced world of social media, where headlines matter more than nuance, this extreme narrative spread like wildfire. Meanwhile, the Harris household was reportedly under immense pressure. Insiders claim that I was furious at the way people were treating his son. The rapper allegedly confronted not just bloggers, but even certain family members who he believed were feeding the fire. His protective side came out in full force. According to rumors, I has even discussed pursuing legal action against individuals spreading false or exaggerated claims about King's condition. For this isn't just about public image, it's about defending his son's dignity. Tiny, on the other hand, has been described as heartbroken but calm. She is said to be focusing on King's healing rather than battling the public. In private conversations, she has encouraged family and friends to rally together instead of tearing each other apart. Tiny reportedly believes that the best thing for King is love, support, and patience. Not more headlines or finger-pointing, but within the extended family, not everyone sees eye to eye. Relatives like Big Nana, who has never been afraid to speak her mind, are rumored to be questioning the secrecy around King's health. According to whispers, she feels the Harris family is too focused on controlling the narrative rather than being transparent with the public. This difference in approach has caused tension within the family unit, and if those disagreements spill into the public, it could cause even more chaos. At the same time, legal and medical experts have started weighing in. Some argue that if the surgery truly led to King's change in behavior, the doctors could face serious consequences. Brain surgeries require precision and care, and if negligence is proven, lawsuits and even criminal charges could follow. On the flip side, some medical professionals caution against jumping to conclusions, reminding the public that complications are a natural risk in such procedures. Not every outcome can be blamed on doctors, they say, and using words like lunatic to describe a post-surgery patient is both harmful and irresponsible. The media circus around King's condition has only amplified the issue. YouTube commentators, gossip podcasts, and news outlets are all running with the story, each spinning it their own way. Some are portraying King as a tragic victim of medical negligence, while others are painting him as unstable and dangerous. The sensational headlines, "King Harris went crazy after brain surgery," are grabbing millions of views, but they're also blurring the line between fact and fiction. And what about King himself? That's the haunting part. While the world debates his sanity, King has been largely silent, appearing only sporadically in public or on social media. In those rare appearances, his behavior seems inconsistent, sometimes calm, sometimes erratic, often leaving fans more confused than before. People close to him have suggested that he's struggling not just with physical recovery, but with the emotional weight of being labeled crazy. At such a young age, imagine trying to heal while millions of strangers dissect your every move. That pressure alone could push anyone over the edge. This situation highlights a much larger issue: society's fascination with downfall. Fans love a redemption story, but they also crave chaos. King Harris, once just another celebrity kid trying to step out of his father's shadow, has now become a spectacle. The same people who cheered for his bold personality are now quick to mock him in his most vulnerable state. It's a cruel cycle, and King is trapped in the center of it. The family is divided, the public is split, and the truth about King's condition remains unclear. Is he truly slipping into madness after his surgery, or is the world too eager to brand him as a lunatic without understanding the full story? One thing is certain: the Harris family can't escape the spotlight, and the next steps they take will either bring clarity or ignite an even bigger storm. As the days turn into weeks, King Harris' condition continues to dominate conversations across the internet. What started as whispers of his strange post-surgery behavior has now spiraled into a full-scale public drama, with the Harris family caught in the center of a storm they can't control. The phrase, "King Harris turned lunatic after brain surgery," has been plastered across social media, YouTube thumbnails, and gossip headlines, turning the young man's private struggles into a public circus. But now, the situation is no longer just about internet chatter. It's escalating into a cultural and possibly legal turning point. T.I., known for his fiery personality, has doubled down on his defense of his son. In a recent public appearance, he was quoted saying that people who mock or degrade King during this vulnerable time should be ashamed. He hinted at the possibility of holding doctors accountable for what happened during the surgery, suggesting that negligence may have played a role in altering his son's behavior. His words lit a fire across social media. Reporters praised him as a protective father standing up for justice, while critics accused him of deflecting blame and refusing to face reality. Tiny, staying true to her softer persona, has leaned on prayer and positivity, urging fans to stop calling King names and instead send love. She posted an emotional message on Instagram, writing that her son is still healing, and that labels like crazy or lunatic only add to his pain. Her message gained traction, with many fans reposting her words under the hashtag #StandWithKing, but at the same time, the negativity didn't completely stop. The internet thrives on sensationalism, and for every supporter lifting King up, there were still trolls ready to tear him down. The Harris family brand has undeniably taken a hit. Endorsements, appearances, and future projects are now being overshadowed by the narrative that King is not the same. What was once a family celebrated for resilience and success is now being portrayed as a household in crisis. Old critics of T.I. have resurfaced, pointing to past controversies and saying this is just another example of chaos following the rapper. Whether fair or not, perception matters, and right now, the Harris family is fighting an uphill battle to control theirs. Meanwhile, the FBI investigation into medical negligence, originally tied to King's surgery, has reportedly expanded, Insiders claim that investigators are reviewing hospital practices, staff reports, and surgical notes to determine if shortcuts or malpractice contributed to King's condition. If negligence is proven, this could become one of the most high-profile medical scandals in recent memory, but if not, the family risks looking like they exaggerated or misdirected blame, and that could further harm their credibility. The media's role in this saga cannot be overlooked. Major outlets are covering it like a reality show, publishing headlines that exaggerate King's behavior to attract clicks. YouTubers and bloggers are pushing theories, some claiming King has lost touch with reality permanently, others suggesting he might bounce back stronger than ever. In this ocean of speculation, the truth becomes harder to separate from the noise. What everyone agrees on, though, is that the surgery changed King's life forever, whether physically, mentally, or emotionally. What makes this story even more complicated is King's age and identity. At just 19, he's at a stage where many young people are still figuring out who they are. Add brain surgery, the pressures of fame, and the weight of being the child of two celebrities, and the situation becomes even more volatile. His behavior may look unstable, but how much of it is medical, and how much is the natural rebellion of youth, magnified by trauma and fame? That's the question experts continue to debate. Fans remain divided. Some view King as a tragic victim of medical negligence and public cruelty. They want accountability for the surgery and empathy for his struggles. Others insist he has crossed the line and become unpredictable, arguing that his actions prove the lunatic label is not far off. This divide shows the bigger issue at play: society's tendency to exploit vulnerable individuals for entertainment, especially when they belong to famous families. As Section 3 draws to a close, one haunting truth stands out. The world may never fully know what King Harris is going through behind closed doors. The surgery may have saved his life, but it also sparked a narrative that has reshaped his identity in the eyes of millions. Whether he recovers and reclaims control of his story, or whether the label of lunatic continues to define him, will depend on how his family, the media, and the public choose to move forward. The Harris family faces two paths: fight relentlessly for justice and compassion, turning King's struggle into a push for awareness and accountability, or allow the noise of the internet to drown out their truth. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: King Harris' story is no longer just about a surgery gone wrong. It's about fame, vulnerability, and the thin line between public perception and private reality.